Hello and welcome to Ram Morning Yoga. My name is Jana and I am very happy to be able to bring you this short morning yoga practice on behalf of the Fort Smith Regional Art Museum. So to start a yoga practice, for the physical practice, we like to find a comfortable seated position or Sukhasana. And this can be with legs crossed, stacked one on top of the other, maybe out a little wider. Everyone's hip joint looks different. So this seated pose is not meant to look any certain way. It's just however you feel comfortable. And perhaps if you have a cushion or a pillow, you can sit on it to get the hip joint up higher than the knee joint if you're feeling any kind of pain in your knees or ankles. So finding this seated position, we want to begin to bring the awareness to the breath and not forcing the breath, but just noticing how the breath is moving in through the nose and out through the nose. And then as you begin to settle into that breath awareness, beginning to bring the awareness to the spine, from the base of your spine all the way up through the crown of your head, imagining a straight line, stacking your shoulders over your hips, chin and neck in alignment over the body. Finding the breath again. And then we're going to start to slowly move the shoulders up toward the ears as we take an inhale. And then as we exhale, just rolling the shoulders down and back. So just take a few rounds of that, inhaling, bringing the shoulders up toward the ears, and exhaling, rolling them back. Just most of us, no matter what kind of job we have or what our daily activity looks like, it's very easy to carry tension in the shoulders from anything from computer work to driving to lifting heavy things. So then let's reverse the rotation of the shoulders there. So we're going to roll the shoulders forward, trying not to round the back. And then coming back to that seated position, going to begin to slowly take the chin toward the chest and then just back up. So just do that a few times to welcome that first stretch into the neck. And then begin to slowly bring the right ear toward the right shoulder. And the head back up. Left ear to the left shoulder. And back up. And then we're going to deepen that neck stretch just a little. So the right ear goes toward the right shoulder and the left hand will extend out, kind of just a few inches from the ground. And you should really feel that stretch right here. Then we're going to take the hand back in, then left ear toward the left shoulder. And that right arm extends out low to the side, welcoming the stretch into the right side of the neck. And coming back to center. So now that we've warmed up the neck and shoulders, maybe feeling a little more loose, a little more relaxed, we're going to start with the 6 natural directions of spinal movement. So these 6 natural directions of spinal movement are used in combination to help increase your mobility, joint health, help your posture, and should help decrease pain if you are experiencing just kind of general back pain. So we're going to bring our awareness back to the tailbone, stacking the vertebrae of the spine all the way up. And then on our next inhale, we're going to bring the arms up overhead. So now that we've warmed up the neck and shoulders, we're going to warm up the spine with the 6 natural directions of spinal movement to help increase circulation of synovial fluid, to lubricate those joints, and to straighten our posture. So on your next inhale, we're going to bring the arms overhead. And on your exhale, folding to the left, placing the left hand on the ground, and taking the right arm up by the right ear. And if you would like to deepen the stretch, you can turn the gaze up and rotate the arm back, being respectful to any messages from the neck and shoulders. And then bringing that awareness to the breath. And on your next inhale, bringing the arms back overhead, we're going to fold to the opposite side, taking the left arm up by the left ear. And we're going to hold this for 3 rounds of breath. Full inhale and exhale. Feeling free to adjust during these postures to get the stretch that you feel like your body needs right now. And on the next inhale, we bring the arms back overhead. And now we're going to sync this movement up with the breath. So on the exhale, we fold to the side. And then on the inhale, extending the arms up by the ears, bringing the spine straight. And then exhale, folding to the opposite side. So we're going to do this 3 more times on each side. Inhale, coming up, and exhale, folding. Inhale, coming up. And maybe really trying to reach out through that upper arm to elongate the side of the body. Thinking about keeping the base of the body grounded to the floor beneath you. Once more on this side, and then we'll give this other side its turn. So we've done our side-to-side movement of the spine, and now we're going to do our first spinal twist of the practice. So bringing the right hand toward the left knee, and the left hand can come behind you like a kickstand. And then as you settle into the breath, perhaps the inhale brings the crown of your head up toward the sky. And maybe the exhale, you take the twist just a little further, always respecting any messages your body sends you. Just feeling a stretch or tension is fine, but we don't want to ever feel sharp pain. On the next inhale, unfurling the arms, bringing that left hand over toward the right knee. The right hand is behind you like a kickstand. And we'll just settle into a few rounds of breath here. And just like the side-to-side movement, we'll hold it for the first round and then we'll begin moving with the breath. So the next inhale brings us forward as we make space for the lungs, the diaphragm to expand. And then as we compress against the lungs, we release the air from the nose. So inhale, coming forward, and exhale, twisting to the opposite side. And then just moving with the breath. Inhale brings us forward, and exhaling to the opposite side. Come around. And we'll go to each side one more time. And you can do these movements as many times as you feel like you need. And maybe if you notice that one side is tighter than the other, you can start with that side and end on it so it gets an extra repetition. Or you can just do them the same amount of times. And now that we've done our side to side and our twisting, we are going to move the lumbar section of the spine, that lower flexible part of the spine, forward and backward. So tilting the upper body forward, keeping those shoulders straight, and then tilting backwards, trying not to round the shoulders in. but thinking about broadening through the upper back and shoulders. Tipping forward and tipping back. Nice wide shoulders. And then our final spinal warm-up is circumduction. So if we think about the sits bones being balanced on the ground, a nice base, you can change the cross in the legs if you want to increase circulation. And then we want to think about the base of our body being a bowl, and our spine is going to be the spoon that stirs that bowl. So keeping the base grounded, we begin to rotate through the lumbar section of the spine. And going as slow or as fast as you want. And then changing the direction of rotation. And if this feels different from one side of the other, from one side to the other, that's totally normal. Right. So now that we've warmed up the spine, we are going to uncross our legs and bring them out straight in front of us. So now that we've got the legs straight out in front of us, maybe a slight bend in the knees, we've got the hands behind us for support. We're going to just start doing a little bit of inner and outer rotation for the ball and socket joint of the hip. So we want to roll both sides of the toes to the right. We'll just take a couple of breaths here, bringing our focus back to the breath. Then we'll bring those toes back up toward the sky. And we'll turn both toes toward the left. We're holding that for a couple of breaths there. And then we'll just move that back and forth with the breath, coming up and folding, up and folding. So we're going to take this same motion of inner and outer rotation a little further by bending the knees and bringing the soles of the feet to the floor. The hands can still be behind us for support as the feet spread slightly wider than the hips. And both knees will fold toward the right. And we should really feel that stretch moving into the area running from the knee up to the hip, the IT band that runs along the side of your thigh. And this will look different for everyone. Perhaps you like to go a little wider or a little more narrow. Just really kind of playing with the movement and seeing what your body needs right now. So we'll come back up to center and give the other side its turn as both knees fold toward the left. And then now that we've warmed up the IT bands, the hips, knees, we'll move that with the breath. So just folding to one side. As you inhale, bringing them up. And as you exhale, taking them to the other side. So just taking that movement with your own breath at your own pace. And then coming back to center, we're going to find our comfortable seat again, extending the legs out in front of us. So we've warmed up the neck, shoulders, back, hips and knees, and the ankles and toes are left. So we want to think about flexing the toes back toward the knees, and then pointing the feet while trying to maintain the toes straight, pointing out in front of us. So then flexing those toes back toward the knees, and then pointing the toes and feet out in front. So one more time, flexing back, pointing forward, and then keeping the feet pointed straight. Then we're just going to flex the toes. And so then we'll do all three of those movements together. Flex, point, and then keeping the feet pointed, flexing just the toes. It's a made-up yoga word. We call it flointing. So flex, point, floint. Flex, point, floint. And then maybe think about the different leg muscles that you're engaging in this movement. So as you flex your toes back toward your knees, you feel the underneath of your calves flex. As you point the feet out, you feel the tops of your calves elongate. And then as you flex those toes, you feel all the muscles of your legs engage. So while this is a small movement, it works a lot of different muscles. Bringing the feet back up straight. And we'll just do a couple of ankle circles. For those of us who sit, drive, have to be sedentary for long periods, we can begin to get edema, and we're not getting proper blood and lymph circulation to the extremities. So doing some wrist circles is super helpful. You can do it while you're stopped at a red light, while you're at your desk, while you're sitting on the couch. And then also we'll do some wrist circles to help counter pose using the hands for stability behind us. Now that we've done our seated morning warm-ups, these are simple movements that you can do on your own without any special supplies. You can do them from the edge of your bed, a chair, your desk. I hope that these movements have maybe brought a little bit of relaxation to your morning. The awareness to your breath has helped wake you up. I like to end each yoga practice by either sitting in the comfortable position or lying down and taking a few slow, relaxing breaths. And I'll leave you to do that. I would like to thank the Fort Smith Regional Art Museum for providing this service. And I like to end each yoga practice by saying Namaste. And that means something a little different to everybody, but to me it means that little spark within me that makes me my own unique person recognizes and honors that is within you. I thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.